And Professor Kwame Nasego is also a Reverend Minister, virologist with the University of Ghana Medical School and the Center, working closely with a number of experts to make sure that all fronts we're all in a position to combat this. And right here on the AM show, this is what we do, creating the content so that all of us can have some great conversation, because closely related to this is the issue of the ongoing voter registration exercise. Beyond all the arrests and all the things that are going on are the concerns about public health, its maintenance, and then going according to the protocols that have been enshrined when it comes to COVID-19 or coronavirus. We have men on the ground. We've been deploying them since Tuesday when this exercise started. So we're just in day 6, and we are now going to give you the latest update. We'll speak to also the Director of Training for the Electoral Commission, Mr. Michael Boedu, and get the latest update. But right now, let's go to the Bono East region, speak to Anas Sabit. He's been a man on the ground since day 1, monitoring events, and right now he's is at one of those centers where the registration is ongoing. Anas, what can you tell us? Where exactly are you?
Roland, currently in Techiman, in the Techiman South constituency, and you know, this is the phase 2 of the exercise ongoing. I'm at the Hausa and Electoral area, and where I am is the ARMS polling station A and B, and of course registration started not exactly at 7 a.m. but some few minutes after 7. That's around 7:15. Thereabout. That's when the whole exercise started. As I speak to you, either of the 2 polling or registration centers have registered over 10 persons, with all protocols being observed here. I see the Veronica buckets. I see health officials from the Ghana Health Service also taking care of their temperatures, as we saw during the phase 1 of the exercise. Apart from that, there were a bit of issues with the social distancing, but after the EC officials spoke with the people and then urged them to abide by the protocols, since there's some sort of understanding here, and all of them are standing at least some few meters distant from each other. So for now, from where I'm standing, I'm a bit impressed with the exercise, as everything is on course and then all the protocols are strictly being adhered to.
There is an important aspect of how we as a people have been able to take in some of the suggestions so far. It looks like it seems to be going well in many of the centers that you have covered since Tuesday. Can I make that conclusion, Anas?
Yes, in a way I would say yes, especially in the Bono East region. From all the areas I have visited, I see some sort of cooperation between the registrants and then the officials of the various registration centers have been covering. In fact, if you could see from this particular station, there are chairs placed, and of course people are sitting. I mean, without any misunderstanding so far, and all of them are on their nose masks, with the EC officials instructing the people to wash their hands the moment they get to the polling or registration centers before they're even allowed access to either of the chairs that are being placed here. Apart from that, the EC officials are also placed just before you get to the registration point, so they take your temperature and then they prevent you from getting there in case you have a higher temperature. So far here in the Bono East region, I am yet to come across, from the areas I have visited, I'm yet to come across any unfortunate incidents with regards to the issue of the protocols, and I'm a bit impressed, quite impressed with the situation so far as the phase 2 is concerned.
The centers that you visited so far, usually how many people do they expect to register based on the targets for the day?
You know, from the previous places I've visited, this is the phase 2, like I said earlier. And so for the phase 2, this is the first day 1 of the phase 2. When we monitored the phase 1, where the 6 days elapsed, most of the areas are registering between 120, 150, thereabout. The least amongst them in some of the rural areas I've visited, registering about 80 a day. But in this particular area, because this is the first day, it's only if they are able to refer to the previous polling register they are having, or yes, electoral college they are having. that will be when they'll be able to tell the number of people they're expecting to register. But this particular electoral area, I'm told, or this particular polling station, I'm told previously, has about 1,000 voters. So if that is anything to go by, and they're expecting at least to do between 150 and then 200 registrations a day to be able to catch up with the 6 days the EC is having for this particular polling station or the electoral area.
Well, we'll see how it goes with you. Just stay with us. Also, we have other correspondents on the line. We'll try as much as possible to get to speak to them. We have the Director of Elections for the MPP, Evans Nimako, joining us. Good morning to you, Mr. Nimako. Good morning, Mr. Nimako. Oh, we'll get to you.
Good morning.
Yeah, yeah, definitely with a connection when it comes to Zoom. What's your own assessment of the 6-day period since the exercise has started? We're in the second phase, we're told.
Yes, thank you and good morning to your viewers. I think for us as New Patriotic Party, the exercise has been very good. It's been encouraging. We didn't expect that. Coming from the background of where the NDC had preached that people should not patronize, we thought that we were not going to get the numbers. But across the country, everywhere that the registration took off, we realized that the first 6 days has been very encouraging. The numbers are huge. What really is the challenge is the strict observance of the COVID-19 protocols. And that will urge the security to help us step up. It is important that all stakeholders come on board, and the work of you, the media, is of high essence. And so we will continue to urge Ghanaians that those who are due to be registered should observe it so that they are not infested with any diseases. We expect that this process will end, and eligible people will have their names on the electoral roll so that they can help in the decision making as to who becomes the president and who becomes their members of parliament.
There's a considerable aspect of the complementary role that the parties needs to play. This, again, has also been emphasized by the Electoral Commission. How well has the governing New Patriotic Party also done its bit?
Yes, all over, across the registration centers, we've had our agents and our party members are supporting. We've told them of the importance to observe these COVID-19 protocols. It is also by law, looking at the EI 64. So it is important that we all collaborate to ensure that we protect our lives and stay safe. So we've told our agents, we've told our party membership. Already, whilst we're going through our constituency primaries in constituencies where we have certain members of parliament, the party provided for all our delegates face masks, and we are still supplying face masks to our people in all these areas. I think what is challenging now is that there are a lot of people who want to be registered, and so they get flooded at the registration centers. The arrangement that has been put in place by the Electoral Commission is said that each registration center or polling station will have its fair share of the registration day. So we will still urge our members that if it is not yet at your electoral area or polling area, just stay at home and keep watching the movement plan of the Electoral Commission. When it gets to your area, you can then move to the registration center to have your name written. I, for one, I normally register in my hometown, Bonso, because my date is not yet due. I've not made any attempt to go to Bonso to register. So we are urging our members and every Ghanaian who is 18 years and above of sound mind, as stated in the Constitution and the CI, that you exercise a bit of restraint and wait for the date to reach your area, then you can then go ahead. The arrangement, I think, that has been put in place, looking at 33,367, each and every one will be served. And we insist that the EC continue to educate the Ghanaian, the EC, NCC, and in fact, political parties, we MPP are doing our best. The media must also come in and help. But in all this, when we are at the registration center, we urge all to collaborate with the security agencies to ensure that we observe the COVID-19 spacing. Yes, some people may be in the face mask. The other issue is that are they able to space themselves in the registration center? I think that's where the challenge is, that we must ensure that we all come on the same page to observe it.
Let me just ask a last question before we get onto the electoral ground at the Church School right here in Accra. I've heard several reports of either your opponent or sometimes individuals who allegedly have a pack of the Form 1A of the Electoral Commission. I do know that the Electoral Commission had communicated, if not a number of you, the political parties, that one can print the Form 1A, fill it, and then send it to the electoral registration area. It makes it easy for the process to be hastened or to be expedited. What do you say about people having a number of the forms, so to speak?
Yes, I mean, it is for the individual. This is coming from the Electoral Commission. So they must come clear and let Ghanaians know that as part of the registration process, individuals can go onto their website, print out the Form 1A, fill it up, and go to the registration centers to help the registration officials to go through the process. So that has been said, but it has to be area code and area code for people to appreciate it. I don't think this is the same as the gentleman in Sanaregu who willingly and clandestinely stole the registration materials of the Electoral Commission. It is different when you have gone onto the net and printed out the Form 1A, and when you have sat with the Electoral Commission at the registration center and managed to steal the registration material. That cannot be tolerated. So okay. Yes, if the EC says that on the website you can print out Form 1A, that is in order. They must let the world know. It cannot be just one announcement and that is the end of it. It has to be very harsh for people to appreciate it. Okay. There are also other incidents. I mean, if you talk of Doma West in Bono region, where some tags were apprehended by the police. We talk of K2 South. And all these, my brother, what is important is that, yes, maybe it is coming from the New Patriotic Party, and so there might be some people may decide not to accept it. What is the police saying? What is the media saying? And I'm happy that you have your men on the field across, and they can report back to you and your viewers and listeners. Okay.
Evans Nimakon is Director of Elections, the New Patriotic Party, helping us do the discussion. But we have to get onto the ground again. Earlier, we were speaking to Anas Sabit, giving us the scenario or the atmosphere in one of those registration centers in Techiman. But let's go on the ground. Maxwell Agbagba is having some observations at one of the centers around Reach. And so I also know it's the ground where he'll be speaking to the Director of Training for the Electoral Commission. Maxwell, good morning to you. Can you hear me? What can you report for us this morning? What so far are your observations?
Well, Roland, we are here at the Reach Church Registration Center. What I can say confidently is that here at this registration center, we've seen some semblance of social distancing and the adherence to the COVID-19 health protocol. Quite different from what we saw sometime last week when we visited the Ododo and the Blakuma South constituency. This is the second phase of the registration exercise, and it has started smoothly here at the Ridge Registration Center. As you can see, the people behind me are getting ready to join the queue here to the next stage of the registration process. So when they arrive here at the Ridge Church Registration Center, they first of all wash their hands. Over there, there's a Veronica bucket. A gentleman right now is washing his hand. From there, he moves to the plastic chairs that are carefully, spaced out here. They sit down, and then when it is their time, they move to the main registration center where their temperature is checked before they go through the registration process. So without without any delay, let me take you in there. Let's see how it happens. And remember also that we have with us the Director of Training for the Electoral Commission, Mr. Michael Boydu. He's here. He'll be interacting with us. But this is the lady who is taking the temperature of the applicants who are coming here. We'll later take you through what is happening here. But let's speak to Mr. Michael Boydu, who is the Director of Training for the Electoral Commission. Let's find out from him what he makes of the first phase of the registration exercise. On a scale of 0 to 10, what would be his rating? Mr. Boydu, welcome to JoyNews.
Thank you very much, brother.
We've finished with the first phase of the registration exercise. I want to find out from you, what is your rating of the first phase?
Thank you very much. I must say we have done very well. The turnout has been very impressive. And maybe I would say 85 to 90%.
Okay. Yeah. 85 to
90%.
Wow. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Because what we've seen here, quite commendable. Persons here are adhering to the social distancing protocol. But we have been to other places like the Bekruma South constituency, the Dodidiodo constituency, and we've seen what is happening there. Will that also add up to your 85 or 95%?
Yes. In fact, but for the COVID protocols which has not been observed by some certain localities, we would have chalked about 100%. But that is taking away the 10%. And it's because people are just not willing to obey simple instruction of keep your distance. That's all we're asking them to do. Keep your distance at the center. When you're done, you go home. But it's difficult for some to do. Other communities, it's okay. So we continue to educate them and let them see the reason we ask them to do so. It is for our own good. No, bear in mind what we are, the condition we find ourselves in now. So, yes, but for some places where this social distancing has not been observed, largely, the work itself, the technical aspect of the work has been excellent. It's this protocol aspect from regard to social COVID-19, where we have some challenges. And we are still continuing to educate our people so they can know how to behave very well in these times.
Okay. Mr. Boydu, I'll come to the technical aspect, as you rightly mentioned, but there are some people who still think that the Electoral Commission is risking the lives of all Ghanaians by still going about this registration exercise in this period of a pandemic. What do you make of these assertions?
Let me say this. The constitution of the country does not make room for extension of the president's stay in power. And so what it means is that by 7th December, we have to conduct elections. Now, if we all agree to this, then preparations towards the election is equally important. Because election is not an event, it's a process. And so registration is part of the process to the election. And so if you all agree that we have to, and we cannot do without the election, because that will create serious constitutional problem, and so we all agree there must be elections, then there's a need for registration. And all that we need to do is that life must go on in the midst of this COVID. So how do we ensure that we are safe and go about our normal duties in this environment? That is how we are saying that we are putting in place protocols that people are expected to observe.
But these protocols are being breached in some of the registration centers. Right. And even in some instances, police officers who are supposed to maintain law and order and ensure the adherence to this protocol have thrown up their hands in despair.
Well, I wouldn't describe their throwing hands in despair because they still give us an assurance that they are in the position to do what they are supposed to do. Okay. Security, we are working with them. It's a team. The security and the Ministry of Health. That's the team we are working with this. It's a team for this registration. So where there are lapses, we draw their attention and they take care of those things. And so we expect from now, knowing what happened in the first phase, the security will step up their game and make sure that people are compelled to do the right thing. Okay. And I'm sure we will see something different in the subsequent phases. Okay. Good.
Okay. But how many people successfully registered in the first phase of the exercise?
Good. We're looking at about 2.2 million.
Wow. Yeah. 2.2 million as at the end of the fifth day, or
after the end of the fifth day, it's about 1.8. But considering the fact that every day we get between 350,000 to 400,000, if you add that, because we are yet to add that of the sixth day, we're likely to get 2.2 million for the first phase. And may I even add that out of these 2.2 million, those who registered using the NIA are about 64%. Wow. Yes. And those who registered using the guarantors, about 33. Just about 3% use passports. So that's the breakdown. So it means that people really have access to their Ghana card, largely, and that's what we are using. And it's a good development compared to the DLE, the registration, the supplementary registration that we did, where over 90% registered with guarantors form. Now the pattern is changing. So we're over 60% now using NIA card. And so we know with time, when more people will get access to the card, the guarantor situation will even phase out naturally. And everybody will register with a card in future exercises.
Wow. Yeah. So for the first phase, about 2 million people have registered. Is this significant enough? Are you impressed with these figures?
Yes, I am impressed, because the subsequent phases, where more police stations should be opened and more machines should be sent there, we are likely to record more numbers. And so our targets of 50 to 70 million will all by all means be achieved.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. Now, there's talk about being able to complete this exercise within 10 minutes. The EC drummed home this point. We heard it over and over again. Is that a reality on the ground?
It is.
10 minutes, we are done?
If you start from table 1, through up to the third table, you spend within 10-15 minutes, not more than that. If you add the time you spend in the queue, then it will not be a reasonable thing to do. Because if I'm to spend 10-15 minutes on each person, and you are the number 20th person, so imagine the 19 people that are in front of you. Each of them will spend 10 minutes on. You get your 10 in about 3 hours. Okay. So if you use as the basis to determine how long you stay here, then that will not be fair. The process itself, when you start from table 1, you will not spend that more than 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and you are done. Okay. Yes. So that is why we are using the queue management control system. What it means is that when we come to a center and want to start to work, and we see the numbers there, we generate cards for them. The cards have their numbers and dates. Okay. We generate it for them. So if our capacity for a day, it is say maybe we can handle 150, 120 people a day, we see the cards for them. And those who fall beyond the 150, we ask them to go and count the following day. We won't even give them some cards from 150 to 200. Go, because there's no way we can get you today. We cannot take care of you today. So we go and count the following day, so that we concentrate on the 120, 150 for that day. Even with the 120, 150, before noon, we might not be able to get to about 90. So we ask those of you bearing 100 and above, you can as well go and come after 1 or 2. By which time we would have cleared the first 100 or something, and then we take care of you. If then this understanding is there, we will not come stay here and say we are staying here in the morning to evening before you get to our 10. We have given you a number. When you come at the time given to you, you'll be taken care of. Okay. And so with this arrangement, I'm sure if you have to keep to it, the queues will be reduced considerably in the centers, and there will be order. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
We'll let you take us through the process shortly, but an argument that was made for a new voters register was the inclusion of the facial recognition, feature. How is that going?
It is going. In fact, that takes place on the second table. Okay. So if if we should go through the process, let's start from table 1. Okay. I'll run it through, and when you get there, you see what we are talking about.
Sure. So let's start from table 1. What happens here at table 1?
Table 1, this is where the registration officers are. They record your biographic data. You can see there are 2 of them, okay, and there are 2 applicants in front of each. So that is where we take your name, your parents' name, your house number, hometown details, and all that. And that's what is going on here. So we advise that before you even come to the center, get this information down. You can write it on a piece of paper if you cannot recollect so fast. Okay. Right? Or let somebody write for you if you cannot write. Especially with your house number and your hometown and the house number of your hometown. And then your parents' name, that is straightforward. But where we have challenges is where it's the house number. People don't remember their house numbers. So you can write it down somewhere. And in your hometown, the house number of your hometown, let's write it somewhere. And you come with it. So when you come with all this information already handy, it facilitates the process. Because you will not even ask a lot of questions. Once you hand over those things to the officer, we just go through. If there are any clarifications, you ask. And you don't spend much time here if you all prepare this way. Okay. So from here, you are giving your card.
Okay, so I'm likely to spend how many minutes at the first table?
Let me find out from the arrow. Sorry, just interrupt you briefly. Mr. Arrow, how long do you spend on each person filling the form?
We normally take around 3 to 4 minutes, depending on how readily available.
Okay, so within 3 to 4 minutes. That's okay.
Sure. Okay, so let's move on to the next table. So you tell us what happens here on this table.
The data entry clerk table. Okay. And that's where you see the DVR, the device for registration. So the information that was captured on the form 1A, on table 1, is here. You see the same form is lying on that table. Okay. And then the data entry officer is keying in the information as it appears on the form 1A onto the computer. Okay. When it is done, there will be a printout on a different form called form 1C. That's how it looks like. Okay. So the printout will be on this one. And you see a column for ID beneath, down there. Okay. And so the ID details will be here too. And that is where the third officer, the officer on the third table, will detach and laminate and give to the applicant as his or her identity card. Okay. Good. And that where, when the information is taken, it's keyed on the laptop, then your fingerprint is captured using the scanner. Okay. Good. After which your photographs will be taken using the camera. That is where the facial recognition takes place. Okay. Good. Once we capture you with this camera, your data will be stored on the BVD. Okay. The BVD is not here. That's what we're going to use for the election. Good. It will be stored on there. So when during election, when you come and you place your finger on the DVD and its face will recognize you, then there's a camera on the DVD. The new one that we are procuring, there's a camera. We take your picture instantly there, and it compares with the picture that we are taking now. Okay. It's already on the system. They will match. They will compare. So when there is a match, then it proves that you are the person. Then your identity is guaranteed, and you'll be allowed to vote. Okay. Yes, so the facial recognition is here. It's starting from this process. We'll capture the information here, but eventually it will end during election when this information captured will be placed on the DVD. Okay. Because that's where the verification actually will take place during the registration, the elections. Okay. Yes. So from here we'll move to the last table. Okay. This is the laminators table. Okay. And that is where you see. Let me see this. The form that I showed you, Edda, the form I showed you. Okay. Okay. Good. Let me compare this. Cameraman, you see the difference between this and that? You see, this has been processed. The down part has been detached. So the ID portion and the split has been given to the applicant and it's gone. So this is the final product, what will be left for office use. Okay. Good. The down is for the applicant. It has been detached and it's gone. We're going to do the same for her. Okay. So when you come, you just detach this place and also the tag laminate the ID portion, and laminate only the ID portion. This is a receipt portion. So we give the laminated ID card and the receipt portion, which is laminated, to the applicant, and you are gone. Over here, when you are done with you, then you dip your finger in the indelible ink to indicate that we have processed you, so that when you go somewhere else to try to register, once you have the ink there, you will be questioned. Good, because you should not come to register when you have the ink there. You have done it already. That is the process for you.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael Buda. I don't know if our lady here would want to speak to us. Hello, what's your name?
I'm Ikia Dake.
Okay. Ikia, tell me, how did the process go for you? And how many minutes did you spend to do this?
Okay, it was smooth. I think I spent about 8 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So I've spent 8 minutes, so I'm still here, so I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's going to be like 10 minutes?
10 minutes, I should say.
Are you impressed? The EC is saying that 85-95%. What rate and how do you rate the EC?
Oh, I'm impressed from where I am registering from, but not from what I see on TV.
So from where you're registering from, on a scale of 0 to 10?
90.
Wow, 90%. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. I'm sure you're happy about this assessment. Hopefully, when we go to some other parts of the country also, we'll get an assessment and we'll definitely, pass it on to you. Yeah. Okay. So finally, before we go, what message do you have for people who are moving to other areas to register? Perhaps they do not know that this registration is in phases and are moving to other areas to go and register. What do you have to tell them?
In the first place, before you make up your mind to go and register, look out for the information as to when it will be your turn. Find out when we will get to your place. You don't just get up to any center you see available. No. So if you can access the internet, go to our website, you will find it. Go to our nearest district office of the commission. You provide you that information. We also have it on the various social media. Yes. But make sure you get the information as to when your center will be opened. Okay. And go exactly to your center. Because if you don't do that, you stand the risk of being challenged. Because you have to register where you live. And so if you go somewhere else, you can be challenged. And you might not be able to register. And we have the resources in terms of the equipment and the materials and the men to cover all the 33,000 polling stations in the country. Okay. So we'll get to your 10. Do not entertain the fear that we'll run out of materials. It will not happen. Okay. Yes. So let's move to centers assigned for us and register where you're supposed to register, and we'll be taken care of. Okay. Yes. Okay. Finally, before we go, a question coming in our studio is about the Form 1A. Okay. We're told that some persons are able to print even the colored version online. So if we have people with 20 of this in their possession, does it make it a crime? No. It doesn't. No, because if you print it, you have not registered. Okay. If you print it online, you have not registered. You print, you complete, you have to necessarily come to your registration center. Because we need to take your fingerprint, we need to take your picture. And the officer there at the center will need to endorse your form. Okay. So it's not enough to print it. We wanted to facilitate the process. So if you feel you can download and fill everything and you come, we don't have to refill the form. We just make sure everything is well done. Then the officer will thumbprint or thumbprint, will sign and you also thumbprint. And then you move on to the second table where your biographic data will be taken. Your biometric data will be taken. And so that will help us move faster. So unlike you coming and then you have to be interviewed from start to the end. Okay. It takes quite a bit of time then. Compared to when you have done it already, we only go do a cross-check, make sure it is done. It saves time. But that's just about it. Just to facilitate the process. It's not so different from those who come here. Because you have to come here anyway and go through the process before you get your card. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Thanks so much for the clarification. Welcome. Okay, so you just heard the Director of Training for the Electoral Commission, Michael Boydu, taking us through the process and then also answering some very crucial questions for us. He says that after the first phase of the registration exercise, about 2 million people have registered. He's expecting this number to go up as they go ahead with the registration exercise. He is giving the Electoral Commission
85% to 90% rating. Hopefully, we'll be keeping our tabs on the registration exercise, and we'll see if after the registration exercise, that mark will still be around 85-90. Over to you in the studio, Roland.
Maxwell, that was a good one and very elaborate and comprehensive there. Speaking to Michael Boyd, who is Director of Training for the Electoral Commission, and we'll bring you more insight into all these subsequently. And we do know that if we have to move on, we expect that the NDC and its presidential candidate, former President John Dramani Mahama, to announce their running mate today. And we do know, based on what the speculation and the insights we're getting from top members of the leadership, that we're likely to have a choice among Professor Jane Nana Agyemang, who was a former Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, former Minister of Education, and then also move on to UN consultant, also consultant to the World Bank, had been a presidential staffer or aide over the period within the Atamils and John Dramani Mahama administration, Dr. Nimoy Thompson, and a couple of others, a brother of former President Professor John Evans Atamils. Dr. Kadma Mills is also one of 3 that have been built, so likely to be one of 3 of them. And as much as possible, when we get to this news well confirmed after the National Executive Council of the National Democratic Congress have a sitting, we will give you that breaking news. But speculatively, this is the information we're picking from members of the top leadership of the NDC, and as much as possible, we'll let you in on the current state as it is. And we do know Professor, again, Jane Nana Agyemang, a former Minister of Education, also a UN consultant with the World Bank, former presidential advisor, Dr. Nimoy Thompson, and then Dr. Kadma Mills, also with the World Bank, or used to work with the World Bank as well, all in consideration for one of that important job for the 2020 presidential election for the opposition NDC. When we have that confirmed, we'll let you know. But straight away, let's take you to Kumasi, where we have Nana Senso Mensah at one of those registration centers. Nana Senso Mensah, what can you report for us, and where exactly are you?
Hello. Right now we are here at the Holy Spirit Registration Center here at Asawase. And over here, we have 3 centers over here. You could see the line behind me. And everybody is busily doing what he's supposed to do, talking of the party agents, talking of the Electoral Commission officers, and then also the registrants are busily in the queue over there, trying to, register as and when it reaches their turn. So it's quite busy over here, so to speak. We've been monitoring other areas, and then for the second phase of the registration, people are quite adhering to the social distancing protocol, and then also most of them are in their nose mask. So over here it's quite peaceful, and then everybody is doing what he's supposed to do. Roland.
And it looks like social distancing, as you enumerated, being observed closely will be the subject of whether there have been contention about who has a printed out Form 1A of the Electoral Commission or etc. Have you had any of such incidents either arising outside the registration center?
For now, we haven't acknowledged any of these infractions. Everybody here is coming over here with either the NIA card or the passport. I'm trying to get closer to some of the registrants to, engage them and find out what time they got here, then how the exercise has been to them. Sir, good morning. Welcome to JoyNews.
Good morning.
Please, what's your name?
Usman Anthony.
Right. What time did you get here?
I got here around, let's say, by 4 I was here. 4 a.m. I was here.
4 a.m. So
I was the second person here.
Have you received your card?
Yeah.
Tell me, how was the process?
It was cool. Less than 10 minutes I was okay.
10 minutes?
10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. I was done with my card.
Okay.
Because I came here earlier and I was the second person. By 10 minutes, I was done with the card.
Okay, so of course I could see you holding your passport. So you registered with your passport?
Yeah, passport.
Okay. Okay, I also have some elderly people over here. Let me also engage them. Please, what's your name?
My name is Mohammed Rabiu.
Your name again, sir?
Mohammed Rabiu.
Muhammad Ali. Rabiu. So you seem very serious. You really want to have your card. Tell us the reason.
Okay, because I'm security in this school. I'm coming early. I'm open the gates before I leave the.
Okay, you have them arrange this place, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, wait, penny. When you have no kwani mu pedia to aba na so pe card na ya keke.
Okay, me da to aba.
Yes. Okay. So Roland, this person says he was part of the security people who helped arrange this whole area, and then he really need a card to vote. Let me engage some other people over here too. Sir, your first saying.
My name is Mikael Ibrahim Sani Jaula.
Okay. What time did you get here, sir?
I get here around 4:30 a.m.
Right. Have you received your card?
No, I didn't receive my card because of there is some 1, 2, 3 here. People just fighting here around that time, but now we're solving the problem.
Exactly what happened? Tell me, what's the reason you couldn't get a card?
People said they let their people come standing with them, so they come late. But say because of they let somebody come standing with them, so that's why they want to go first. So that's why brings some 1, 2, 3 things. So, but we solve it.
I could see you holding some forms. What form is that?
Yeah, there's the national identification forms and then a national identification card.
Okay. Yeah. So I hope it's sorted out now.
Oh, we sorted it out.
Okay, Roland. So he told me that there were some hitches when he got here earlier in the morning, but it's been sorted out. So he hopes that very soon he will join the queue and then he will receive his card. Your friend saying?
Your friend is Mariam.
Mariam. When say anka wo call market, but o be so card in tia.
Card in there say so be a penny dey. Anytime I pay me dey cause e dey about to do aba so beto aba. Na woni bi so untimento. Tanu tini aba pay card aja to.
There is a open card in there wa dey na say open so the to aba.
Card say about to kwa dey. Ya about to yan fa nya hwe. Because me want next ad ni bi won tinya abato a ye mfa nya hwe nti abato nti ne nyina wa na obi enu akwa be gyina so open keke ye mfa nya hwe.
Right. But udini is saying
Enima Mariam.
Okay. So this is Enima Mariam, and then she says she's a trader, but she was supposed to have been at the market at this time, but she really need a card to vote. That is why she has, given up going to the market, and then she's here to join the queue, and then so that she can get her own card. But I could see people are crammed over here. The social distancing is not quite adhered to. Let me engage them and find out why they are not adhering to the social distancing. Senior, as a social distancing, most of them is unsro.
Bacho Mpani man asino. Kambo police police say kakra. Sanam police I say police or aka police
Okay. The first thing. Okay. He says although the people are crammed, the people are crammed over here, but he hopes that the police personnel will come here and then ensure that things are orderly done. So this is the situation over here at the Holy Spirit Senior High School. Over here, there are 3 centers over here. So you could see people are quite crammed together, but we hope that the police will come around and help in the ensuring the social distancing, Roland. Over to you at the studio, Roland.
Well, Nana sentiments are there. And in the meantime, we have to also tell you that as much as possible, we'll take you around many of these centers today, not only on the AM show, but also on news desks, and subsequently we'll do that also on JN Today. But make sure that you get onto myjoyonline.com. You get all those updates, as we also have a lot of these uploads as we bring this content to you on JoyNews TV, which is our official YouTube channel, and also through Facebook, JoyNews on TV, and then also same for our Twitter handle. We have to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have Inchirado right here to tell us about an upcoming thought leadership event that we have right here with the NCC. Stay with us.